So we're exploring unconditional love, an exploration of this unknowable non-thing, really. Unconditional is free of any conditions. Obviously, it's free of any boundaries or limitations, and it's suggested as love because it's not separate. But there's no separation. There's no real separation, and love is like just oneness. Really, it's just unity or wholeness. So it's a love that is boundless. It knows no limitations, and because it knows no limitations, it's not limited by time or space. It's not limited by anything. It's literally everything. And by being everything, it appears as whatever. It's free. It's totally free. So sometimes it's called unconditional love, sometimes it's called unconditional freedom, and it's really the same thing, of course. And as it, in its freedom, it can appear to be limited, it can appear to be finite, it can appear to be local, it can appear to be moving on a linear path in time. It can even appear to be apparently aware of itself, apparently. But it's suggested that in that boundlessness, all appearances are real and unreal. They're not absolutely solid or stable or secure or fixed. I mean, this is kind of obvious because, you know, the seasons change, the apparent body changes, everything is always changing and moving and shifting, and, you know, and it's empty. There's no substance to anything. It's all empty. From an atomic level, you know, the atoms are empty and everything is empty. So it's just all empty. That doesn't mean that it's devoid of joy or love. It's boundless. It is boundless love. It's unconditional love. But there's no substance in the sense of solidity, you know. And for the human organism, what seems to happen is this contraction, this sort of localization appears to happen for the human form. And as the localization apparently happens, everything suddenly seems to be real, like totally real, absolutely real. Seems to be solid and secure, stable. And it also seems to be separate. It seems to be separate from its self, apparent self. And out of this localization of boundless energy appearing to be contracted, seeking begins, looking, I am looking for wholeness. I'm looking on a quest, or, you know, for fulfillment or happiness, joy, looking for love. I'm looking for unconditional love. It's always I'm looking for something. And that seeking just seems to go on and on, really, until it doesn't. And what this meeting essentially is about is illuminating that what is longed for is already what is. So what is longed for is unconditional love, and unconditional, being unconditioned, is already everything. It's already boundless. So it couldn't exist, apparently exist in the future, because that would make it conditioned and limited, and it's not limited, it's not conditioned, it's everything, it's already everything. So looking for it is essentially, well, it's futile. It's futile looking for what is already. And so the search is a little bit like going around the house looking everywhere for your glasses when they're on your head the whole time. So that's why a lot of laughter can arise, because it becomes quite obvious really, and quite simple and abundantly clear that all there is, all there ever has been, and all there ever could be is already boundless isness, and seemingly through exposing that and illuminating that abundance can seem to unravel this whole sort of agitation, and the energy, the contracted energy can just seem to apparently unravel and thin out, and perhaps even just fade away totally, but there's no expectation or need for that to happen, because it is already boundless. And in that respect, there's no agenda to change anything, because everything is unconditional love, has been said many times already now. But through the exposing and the illuminating, and maybe a discussion arising, this can seem to assist the neurotic need for something to happen, to just come to an end, and then it's revealed all there is unconditional love. And all the time that this is apparently being talked about, there seems to be this sort of energy, that apparently, becomes felt for the body. The bodily experience is energetically felt somehow. So an energetic resonance can seem to happen, and that's a divine mystery, really. It's all a mystery, really. It's all a mystery. And it's not a mystery. It's not a mystery because it's hidden. It's a mystery because it's everything. And by being everything, it can't be known. It can't be known. If it is everything, there's nothing to stand outside of it to know it. Even the knowing, the apparent knowing is it. And so in that respect, everything is a mystery by being totally all-encompassing and boundless. Wonderful.
Hello.
So we've got some people online.
Hello.
We're just talking about unconditional love.
My favorite subject. I'm revising it myself.
I'm just going to go over that just a little bit for our good friend Veronica. It's suggested that unconditional love is all there is. Because it's unconditional.
Exactly.
It's everything.
Can I say something? I was listening to Ramayana today, told by Ramdas. And
It was told by Ramdas.
Ramdas. Only told by Ramdas. Yeah?
Right.
So, and my favorite part was he was quoting a little part when Ravana was faced on the steps when he was going to fight Ram. He was faced by time on the steps, and the time said, "Oh, Ravana, your time is up. I've got you. You will never escape." And you would think that Ravana and time, and he would have no chance, yeah? But then Ravana gives this speech. "But I'm not afraid of you, you know. Love is the only thing that will always prevail, will always survive, because he loved Sita. That's why he wanted her, yeah? So even, because I thought that's it, he'll be done. Time, Ravana, you know, time comes for everybody. But Ravana, no, you're not going to take me now, because I'm going to go and fight for love, yeah? So even Ravana had, because, you know, Ravana and all parts of the story is just parts of the same one, yeah? But from a different angle, yeah? As Ramdas said, just the same thing, but just from the corner, yeah? From the perspective of just a different angle, yeah? Because Lakshman, Rama, Sita, they all the same thing, but in a different form, right? Yeah, so even Ravana was able to feel the power of love, of unconditional love, of love as the only thing that will always win. Sorry.
Sweet.
Yeah, and even though obviously he was the antagonist in the story, yeah, something touched me in his wisdom, yeah, because again, it's the same, different part of the same one. And not to mention Hanuman. There you go, Hanuman is unconditional love.
It's all unconditional love, yeah. By being unconditional is everything.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
It's that simple. It's too simple, really.
Well, that story showed me all those conditionings and sidings and, you know, preferences and whatever what you choose. I mean, how people choose, and maybe even the non-duality, yeah, how when an unenlightened mind thinks in those terms, opposites and but in that story everything is just like comes, like opens up and shows the same.
One, yeah. And what may be shocking to hear out of all of that is that what non-duality exposes, well, it exposes and illuminates many things, and one of those things is that there is absolutely no choice or free will.
But you think there is?
The I thinks there is, yeah. So the contracted energy of separation that seems to live inside the body develops an apparent momentum, and thoughts arise thinking, I'm going to choose this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to go after this. And that's all happening beautifully by itself.
And wrap your mind around that, because you can't.
You can't, no,
exactly.
Totally unmind-wrappable.
Exactly, and that shoots even higher, or even further, or even like, wow. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, so this is an unknowable wonder and mystery. So what happens in these meetings can be a lot of silence, and sometimes there's a question, there's an answer, a comment and a response. There's actually no answers really, but sometimes, a bit of a dialogue, but also periods of silence, and inside of all of that is an energy, apparently.
There is, I know.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, Gabriella.
I'm late because I was working, but as soon as I come in, there's like the me softens a little, and it's like, oh, I can curl up into a little ball and just rest.
Oh.
And it's just like, okay, doesn't get much better than that, to be honest. I mean, it might be better than that over there, but over here, it doesn't get much better than that. And it was interesting. I came back earlier from work, and I just sat, and it was I just couldn't do anything. It was like I was drained, I was exhausted. I just wanted to sit. I just literally just sat on the floor, and then things just softened a little bit, and then there's it really clearly the me thinking. Even though there was such exhaustion in the body and the mind, it was still going, oh, I've got to think about this. Just this list that it does, and the seeking that it does. And then there was something else that was like a voice without words. There was an everything elseness. It was just very difficult how to describe it, really. But it was just felt like that this seeking energy, this franticness was just arising in that softness. It was just like, well, it couldn't be anything, couldn't be apart from it. It was just arising in it, and then it just like, I don't know what I'm talking about. God knows what I'm talking about, but I seem to want to say something.
Yeah. Resistance is also unconditional love. Everything is unconditional love. Everything. By being unconditioned. The word the me doesn't seem to hear the word unconditioned. It tends to filter that out. It thinks love is all about, kindness and being, lovely to friends and family and spouses and children. Give and take, yeah. But unconditional love, boundless. So it includes all of the suffering and the resistance as well, which is incomprehensible to the me trying to figure that out. Can't comprehend how unconditional love could appear as the dreadful things that are seen happening in the world today. But by being unconditional, it is everything. And when that's apparently heard, what seems to happen is either two responses: a contracting more or a relaxing. It's like it seems to go down one of two ways for the apparent individual hearing that. It either contracts more and thinks, no, defense, or a softening. You use the word softening, that can seem to happen as well. And that softening seems to happen, I would suggest, is because it's sort of recognising the utter hopelessness of trying to get something better.
Say that last sentence again, please. If you remember.
Sometimes the me it seems to, in its story, experiences utter hopelessness, and when that hopelessness seems to set in, it can seem to soften. I like the word soften. It seems to soften the agitation somehow.
Yeah.
Because separation is an illusion. There's no real separation. It's wholeness appearing to be separate as from itself. But it's not real, it's an illusion. It's Maya. It takes on Maya.
There's something that wants to cry about that. And I don't know what the crying is. I don't know if it's the crying in frustration or in, just relief.
Yeah, a lot of, just a second, Joey, a lot of, in the story of me, a lot of feelings and emotions aren't welcome. Sadness, remorse, shame, regret, fear, loneliness, sadness, anger, a lot of these things aren't welcome to the apparent me. And when the softening apparently seems to set in, it's like, all sorts of things can happen. Buried shame, all sorts of buried and suppressed things can apparently. But that is also unconditional love, and it's an appearance. It's an appearance. There's no real momentum or process. It's just appearing to be that. Joey's got his hand up, so I'm eager to hear.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I don't know what this crying is or where it's coming from, but it feels like at moments, especially just stepping back from London, it's like something has been opened up and it's just like, wow, it's bottomless in a way. And
Pandora's box.
Yeah, and it feels like it just literally, like in the moment, it can feel like it's so much love that it can't be handled, and it just sort of rejects. So it tightens back in.
Yeah.
Because it's just so much love that it would kill me. It feels like that in that moment. It's just what comes up. Absolutely. I can't. If there is, I don't know how I would be ever. Not that I would ever be able to do that or anything like that. But it just, I can't do anything about the tightening. But it feels like if hypothetically, if there was a giving into that, then there would just be. It's just the whole thing would just explode.
Yeah.
And this traction can't allowed it to happen, but it feels like it has gotten, and I know that's a story, but it feels like it has gotten weak to the point where it just, all this, the garden hose, it's like the water is seeping through, so it can't. Sometimes it's got a better hold on it, and sometimes it's not, and yeah, that's what it feels like. So I'm pretty much most of the time on the verge of tears.
Yeah. Yeah, the overwhelming boundlessness of unconditional love is the destruction of me, the destruction of the separation that never really is, not really happening, not really happening. If there's no me, Ray has asked on YouTube, if there's no me, why does it seem like there's so many of us? Yeah, that's a great question. There isn't really. But in the story of me, it projects a me onto everybody else. It projects a me onto every other apparent person that it's coming into contact with. There is no me. There is no real me. It's an illusion. And it hates hearing that. It absolutely hates hearing that. There's the appearance of apparent contracted energy that seems to be attached somehow to the body. It's a divine magic trick of boundless unconditional love. That's it. And the body, the characteristics, the preferences all go on just fine without that useless piece of software, as my our good friend Tony puts it.
Can I say something else?
Yeah.
That what you said about, all the stuff that gets stuffed down, the emotions and things, and it's like that's what feels like that just there's a real exhaustion with trying to squish it all in, with trying to understand it. It just feels so unnatural to be making everything wrong, keep trying to understand and analyse, and it gets halfway through and then they go, there's just this continual deflation of not wanting to fix and twist and distort whatever's going on, just allowing it to be unconditioned, allowing it to be there as it is. But I suppose that you might say, because Tony certainly would say, well, that too is, it's like, oh. Yeah.
Yeah, no one's doing that either way.
I didn't hear that bit.
I said no one's doing it either way. Hello Jack and Catalin and Leela.
Hello, sorry I'm late. I was at the vet with my dogs, just got back.
Bless you, it's alright. when there's an apparent contracted energy in the body, and this story emerges, there's this neurotic need and want, this desperate want to be in control of everything.
People perform like that and they reach the highs because they're like ultimately living the highest you could ever
That's
be.
the perception, isn't it? That's the perception of nice.
So, what seems to happen there is that there's this incredible expression of passion,
freedom,
passion and
total
joy.
freedom.
It is freedom,
Yeah.
but it's freedom for no one. Like it's freedom expressing itself through that body.
Yeah.
And then I comes back and says, I writ that piece of music.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it chases the high again, and, and then the
Yeah.
seeker comes back seemingly more agitated,
And that's
it
why a
goes
lot of
after.
people in those,
Yeah.
you know,
And
they
the
have a downfall, don't they?
Yeah, so the performance
Yeah.
wasn't enough anymore. Now I
Yeah.
need something after
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
performance.
There's people get involved to make it not about that experience, it's about money making, basically, is the whole point.
It damages, not
Sorry.
damages the ego, but when it takes you to those sort of highs, you know, that's hard to come back from. I mean, look at Conor McGregor when he was in his prime, and people like that, and now he's, you know, I mean, I'm not saying, but he's had some rough times, you know, like all these people that have reached these highs, they have something awaiting them on the other end.
It's like that quote, don't believe the hype.
Yeah.
It applies to a lot of things in this world.
Yeah, it's chaos.
Yep.
It's chaos.
Because you can't handle those highs. I don't think we're built to handle those highs, really.
Well, the me, probably not. No.
Because it just, yeah, you'll always be chasing that.
Well,
It's so profound,
it's
that
the
experience.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
it's the seeking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the seeking written all over.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Because when you know MJ or Freddie Mercury or Conor McGregor, like when that flow was happening, there was still memory. Like the brain was still apparently recording the memory of that flow. But then the contraction seems to, and it recalls the flow, but the eye seems to forget that it. How could it know that it wasn't there? Do you know what I mean?
The thing is, Alexis,
So it
well,
comes back.
We've been like, sorry, it's okay.
I was just going to say, it seems to come back more contracted, and it thinks that it achieved that. It thinks it achieved the flow state. It didn't. It didn't. It was the absence of the me. That's what flow essentially is the absence of someone in the body.
The absence. So
Absence of personhood. Of me.
because you sort of let go of it. Yeah.
It's not. But it's not the me that lets go. Let go happens.
Yeah.
And then there's no one. And then it's just like.
It's like, alright, like being self-conscious. When you're self-conscious, I get self-conscious sometimes, so when that happens, I'm actually trying to control something, yeah? Because I'm worried or fear or whatever. But actually when I'm not in that frame of mind and I'm just operating freely, I'm just happy. You know?
Possibly because you're not there. There's just what's happening. There's just what's appearing to happen.
Yeah,
and it's in
yeah.
the flow.
It's
not you. When I say it's not you, what I mean is the contracted energy.
Yeah.
It's just flowing. It's just life flowing, free flowing.
Just let it happen.
Or free falling.
Free. Yeah. Anytime I try and control something too much, it will ultimately hurt me somehow.
And that's because you're not really in control, but that energy thinks it is. It believes that it is. And so it tries to control, and all that happens as a result of that apparently is a contracted energy.
Get more hurt. So you do have to just let go now and again, don't you?
But you can't do that. No one can choose. There is no real choice. The contracted energy is not really in control. It really thinks it is. It's not. It's not.
But what I'm saying is, it's a continued practice of letting go. Yeah.
But you're not doing that.
No.
You can't let go, basically.
Well, I think you can accept things you don't like, and that is a sense of
Acceptance might seem to happen.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Like,
But there's no real person. What that that contraction over there is not seeming to hear is that there's no one really in the body calling the shots. The brain, thoughts, ideas, memories, beliefs, opinions, values, views, and an energy that seems to correspond to that, but no one's in there driving that show. No one's driving the bus, the dream bus. No one's driving the dream bus.
I don't know if I'll ever get that part of it, but
Yeah, because I can never really get that. That's the point.
Yeah.
Can't. It seems to live on that. Like that seems to be its fuel. That it believes it's in control. So I don't think it could ever accept the possibility that it has no free will or choice. Not fully.
No.
It might believe it conceptually. That means nothing. But as this becomes more apparent and the energy seemingly is, flowing and unraveling and whatever else, it's like it just becomes so obvious in the end, and until that me is totally no more, and then it was obviously never there in the first place, which is also incomprehensible. But it's like this is obviously not happening from someone. The thoughts that are appearing, no one's in control of their thoughts. No one's in control of their body, the digestive system, the lungs, the lymphatic system, the nails growing, the movement, it's all...
What about the mind, though? A little bit, sure.
But there's no such thing as a mind. There's just thoughts appearing. Just thoughts appearing. There's no such thing as a mind, as a container that holds all of these thoughts and think like a computer. It's not
material, yeah.
It's not anything. It's just thoughts appearing.
And mind is just a definition made by humans.
It seems like it's the out of the conditioning of the body that seems to have this thing in it. It's its way of conceptualizing something that doesn't actually exist. It sees it as like as a memory disk or something, like a floppy disk.
What about if it does exist, but not here in this lifetime as it appears to, but somewhere else?
There's no such thing as a mind. There's no such thing as a thing. There's nothing. There's just what is. It's just apparently appearances. I mean, this body is not even a thing. It's
what
an
about
apparent
infinite
process.
mind and all that stuff me, you and Dave used to talk about?
That sounds like empty fullness or unconditional love or the divine or the beloved.
Yeah, infinite mind.
You
So
can
does
call it.
exist
You
in
can
that
call it
way.
infinite mind if you want, fair, but
It doesn't exist.
it's not a thing. It's nothing appearing as everything.
Yeah.
Because whatever humans find, it's just for us to help us imagine it, like, set a direction of perceiving it, perhaps, yeah? Because without naming things, it's hard for us to live on the earth, right? Because we need to have a definition for everything. Head, nose, eyes, sky, up, down, left, right. Because without it, we are not humans. Definition is needed for humans to exist.
Yeah, language.
On the earth. Yeah, everything. Description. Always.
Yeah, language happens.
Yeah,
just
because
fine.
it's just a label, basically. It's just
Yeah.
a label to...
The labels are okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. I see what you're saying. It's like calling the thoughts mind is necessary for the apparent understanding, but it's not really the labelling that's the problem, really. I mean, there isn't really a problem,
No.
but for the me, there's always a problem, and for that, it's like that's energetic.
Yeah, because
It's
we
like-
bounce from one thing to another, and get busy and analyze and this is it.
Yeah, it goes on and on.
I was meditating 5 o'clock in the morning on my bed, yeah? The sky was dark, and suddenly I look up and I see a moving line of stars going like this. One star after another after another. It looked like a star train because it moved together like this. this. Star, yeah. And I could feel how my mind is searching all the data. I could I was experiencing going through everything that is stored in my head. What is it? Definition. So the quickest conclusion was star train. Yeah? Star, points, shining point in the sky, train, moving some few bits of it in the same speed together. Yeah? Star train. And thanks to this definition, and my mind got a bit settled. Okay, I figured it out, yeah. Then I could go to ask Uncle Google, what was that star train in the sky at 5 o'clock in the morning, it would be on this day, yeah? Because without that definition or description, I wouldn't be able to deepen the knowledge, right? And then the Google told me what it was, yeah? But the moment of this shock, this glitch in my head, because there was no information about it, no information whatsoever, That was an amazing moment of experiencing the mind and how it just needs to know right now, definition, straight away, label,
Yeah, the need to know is that's the seeker, the me. Which isn't anything. The labelling and the definitions and the concepts and all that stuff goes on just fine without that seeking energy. It might look slightly differently apparently, but that's just the story. Yes.
But there was no option for not knowing.
Yeah. No option for not knowing. I like that. It's got a hand up from Joey, so yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that sort of flow, and I linked it in the comments. There's actually a beautiful example of, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this guy. His name was Ayrton Senna. He's arguably probably the best race car driver that ever lived.
Yes.
And he was, I think in 1988, he was leading the race in Monaco by minutes, and they just told him to slow down, but he seemed to just be in a zone of his own. And he describes in this clip, beautifully, he says, at one point, I recognized, I guess, that there was a recognition that what was happening was beyond my control. He was going so fast that he couldn't have done that, and there was a seeing. And then the moment that there was a seeing, the moment that there was a recognition, he crashed. Out of first place and lost the race. It's beautiful. I recommend it.
Yes. I watched that documentary a few years ago. Yeah, I vaguely recalled that. Because it talks about the flow in that documentary.
Well, it wasn't just. It was more than a flow in this clip that I put in there. He literally describes a glimpse
sense,
in the middle of the race when he's leading it. It's wonderful.
It's the same probably sometimes on stage, man. Like when you've got the crowd, like lose yourself and don't think that some paintings are. But all it happens anyway.
Yes.
I don't do that. I mean, it's fake it. What? These times, what? You know what I mean? It's real trippy thing, man. There's nobody in it. That's the whole point. There's nobody doing that stuff. Pre-practicing, obviously you put practice in to work out what's every springs and shit, but then spend some like, the flow state basically.
Yeah, it is. Sounds like it.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it was.
So Catherine's put a comment in. While the illusion of a me is there, everything looks real and solid. The me sees other me's. This illusion is not real and yet can drop, revealing there never was a me, simultaneously no others. Exactly. Not only does it see everything as real and solid, it sees it as like it's a distance from me, so it sees it objectively. So the whole subject-object relationship seems to be a part of that story. I don't know this. No one knows it. No one knows it. It's not about knowing. Knowing is distance. Knowledge, yeah. Knowing is distance. Knowing is separation.
Knowledge.
Knowledge.
I thought you said knowledge.
Knowledge or knowledge.
Yesage. Knowledge.
Is life an illusion, just like when waking from a night-time dream, nothing really happened? In a way, life in the sense of the contracted energy feeling itself to be real, solid and separate, that's an illusion. But life in the sense of, bodies, characters, animals as well, all just going on, that's not an illusion, that's just an appearance. So yeah, the dream that no one wakes up from, the dream of someone believing themselves to be real and feeling separate and cut off from the whole, from unconditional love. Have you reached the end of your tether?
Start past it.
We started a bit late.
Huh?
We started a bit late.
Okay. I'm hungry.
I'll see you back if you want to
No,
go.
I'm alright, mate.
Oh, we're not ending yet. We're not ending yet.
I have to.
Oh, okay, lovely. See you, Gabriella. Much love.
Bye.
Just a passerby saying hi from Oz. Love you. Thank you. Wait, Oz as in the town of the Wizard of Oz, or Australia? Oh, Australia, okay. Is seeking for money and seeking for enlightenment both the same? Yes. Yeah. When the search for wealth, fame, drugs, or whatever else is replaced with a spiritual search, a search for enlightenment, to be at one with the divine, or enter the kingdom of God, or release the Kundalini energy. It's exactly the same. It's just spiritual materialism. It's sincere and it's sweet, but it's a fallacy.
It's still a preference.
It's in a way, sometimes it can actually be more insidious because it's clothed with sacred garments. It's no different to searching for fame or wealth. Because enlightenment is already everything. There's no one that could attain enlightenment. Enlightenment is infinity. It's unconditional love. It's everything. It's already what is. How come life isn't random? For example, no one wakes up in the morning suddenly talking another language. Yeah, the suggestion is that it's chaos ordering. It's chaos appearing to be ordered, structured and routinely. And time is an apparent appearance that this takes on. But no one really wakes up. There was no real tomorrow or real yesterday. That's an appearance that appears in memory or future imagination. It's all this. It's all this appearing as that. So cause and effect are appearances. You know, day and night, summer and winter. A thought about what's for dinner later. Thought about the past. It's all just this appearing as that. This is inescapable freedom. It can't be escaped. The attempt to escape it is also this appearing as that. So this, in its unconditional thisness, by being free, can appear to be attempting to escape from itself. But of course, that's just an appearance, which is also this.
There was a switch. So all this makes sense. Or is doesn't make anything. It becomes it. Yeah? It has to become it. So it becomes itself. But it's still perceived and comprehended and defined and everything. The process of processing the information, yeah, is in the way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, becoming is another appearance.
You want me? No, thank you.
Yeah.
Because I really want to appreciate the offer. Sorry, I was interrupting. Carry on. Our business.
Yes. Inescapable freedom. So we are at 25 to 7 now in English time. So I think we might call it there, unless anyone else has any comments or remarks or questions or anything. If you want to. What is the purpose of life? Brace yourself.
I've met up with
There's no purpose. Time is not real. Purpose depends on time to be real. This is already whole. It's already infinite. It's already eternal. Therefore, it's not going to somewhere and it's not coming from somewhere. It's not really on a journey in time. Purpose depends on time. There's no purpose. There's no time. It's just what is. And when I die, that's obvious. I need meaning and purpose to apparently go on functioning as a me. Outside of that story of me needing this to be better, or needing something else to happen, there's no need for purpose anymore. Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you all for joining. And if you do want to make a donation just to help run the meetings, like hire the room and the Zoom membership and all that stuff, then that's lovely. But there's no need to donate. It's just something that people can do if they want. We've got a meeting on Friday, 3 till 4 p.m. GMT. It's on Zoom. All are welcome. And yeah, feel free to subscribe to the YouTube and get a newsletter on the website. Just hear about all the things apparently going on. And yeah, thank you. Much love. Much love.
Thanks, Alexis. Nice to see you.
Oh, bless you. Much love.